We've now got some solid infrastructure in place to run our container in a development environment. So we've set up both the dockerfile.dev file. We've also set up a Docker Compose file that makes executing the Docker container and starting it up just a little bit easier. We're now going to start to shift our focus over to running the tests inside of our container. We're going to first focus on just running our tests in our development environment, and then we're going to very quickly kind of take that knowledge and apply it to running our tests over on Travis CI, which remember is a continuous integration service specifically made to run tests for your project. All right, now the good news here is that executing npm run test inside of our container is going to be awfully straightforward. All we really have to do is build our container using the dockerfile.dev file that we've already put together. Let's do that right now. So we'll do docker build -f dockerfile.dev. I'll then put my dot on there. Let me pull that back up just because I hit enter really quickly. Don't forget the dot on the end. So that gives me my image ID right there. And now remember, to run a specific command inside of that container when it starts up, or to just override, the existing command, all we have to do is append the command that we actually want to run on the end of the docker run command. So I can execute docker run the container ID, which I just lost. Let me copy it again. And then I'll add on npm run test, like so. So now when the container first starts up, it's going to execute npm run test, which starts up the test suite. We then get presented with a little interactive menu right here that allows us to run specific tests, to quit, or to rerun the test suite. Now I want you to try hitting enter right now. If you do so, you'll notice that the tests appear to not run. I want you to remember back to when we spoke about the docker run command related to the Docker CLI. When we run docker run by default, we get a connection to standard out inside the container. But for us to actually trigger or get any input into the container itself, we have to hook up to standard in as well. We can do so by adding on the -it options to docker run. So let's try doing that right now. I'm going to stop the container with Control-C, and then we'll do docker run -it. I'll paste in, darn it, I lost the ID again. Let me build this thing one more time. Do docker. See, this is why you're supposed to use tags, by the way. You can tell that I'm being very naughty and not making use of tags. All right, so I'll do docker run -it. There's the ID, and then we'll execute npm run test when the container starts up. All right, so that's better. You'll notice that when we add on the IT flags, we get a much more full screen experience here. And now when I press enter, it's going to rerun all the tests. I can hit W to go back to the menu, and I could hit quit if I wanted to quit. I could run a specific test by using P. Let's try that out. So I could do like app that matches the app.test.js file. I could hit enter and it runs just that file. So clearly we get full interactivity here. All right, so that's looking pretty good. So we can now exit out of test mode by hitting Control-C as usual. All right, not too bad. Let's take another quick break right here and continue in the next section.